Okay. Testing. There we go.
Most days I'm a wreck, yeah. Most days you can see right through me. Most days I'm a crazy train. My mind's running and I'm going off the rails again. Defeat is not the only way. You were stuck sitting there asking what went wrong. The season's always going to change. This is the rising of the sun.
Hey, how are you guys? Well, that was quite a thing, huh? How are you guys doing? Good to have you here. Let's see, we got, we got Banana Potato, and we got Yes, one of my two new mods. Arctic Corey and Yes are my two new mods, so be sure to give them some love. Hey Roxel, how are ya? Good to see ya. And Banana Potato, of course. How are you guys doing? I personally have had better, you know, up and down, you know. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good, Roxel, yeah. I have been doing a lot of thinking, and I've noticed that people lately have been coming to my streams much later than they used to. So I'm currently holding a poll on the Discord and my Twitter and Mastodon under VT Social as well. I'm holding polls to see what a good stream time is. Because honestly, normally I do 2 p.m. EST, but I'm wondering if 3 p.m. EST or maybe even 4 p.m. EST might be better. The problem with 4 p.m. EST is that, like, I would only be able to for, like, an hour. So if I did 4, I could stream longer for now, but, like, once college starts up, I'd only be able to stream for, like, 1 hour, maybe an hour 30, something like that. But if I start at 3, I could at least stream for 2 hours at least. But, so it just kind of comes down to what to do, really. Because, like, yeah, it just feels like if people are late all the time when I'm 2 p.m., it feels like maybe it's better if I don't stream at 2. Maybe that's too early, you know? I mean, I also looked at my numbers and stuff, and it's like, whoa, a lot of people who watch the VODs are from friggin' like America, like I am. And then my live viewers are usually from Europe. So it's like, okay, my live viewers are from Europe because of when I stream, but most of my VOD watchers are from America. So I think I might be streaming too early, honestly. Because VOD watchers means anybody who watches me as a whole, because it also counts the live viewers. So yeah, the overwhelming silent majority are here in America. So yeah. Yeah, that's what I might have to do, is test times. Today I had to delay the stream to 4 anyway. So, I mean, I guess that kind of happened. And thank you for bearing with that. I'm so glad you guys still came. But yeah, like, honestly, I also was considering, next week. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I still love the Yakuza games, but I am getting kind of burnt out on them again. Like, I loved Yakuza 4 and 5 especially. But as you remember, when I played Yakuza 0, I got kind of burnt out. Then I did Yakuza, the Judgment spinoff, and that was just boring. Like, I don't know, those are very different. And then Yakuza 6, I loved it at first, but again, getting burnt out. So I'm thinking, and Star Ocean, I'm just getting stuck a lot. But, so this week, I'm going to try to stick to my schedule. And then this Saturday, I'm going to try to finish Yakuza 6 completely if I can. But either way, whether I do or not, after this Saturday, I'm taking a break from doing games next week and possibly until January. I'm also temporarily taking a break from language streams for at least that 1 week. And my planned schedule next week, how would you like this? One thing I have planned is a drawing stream, and another one is a fake trip to Japan roleplay experience, basically, where I have videos and pictures and we pretend to go to Japan together. Those are the 2 streams I have planned next week. And you might say, Traveler, you can draw? Yeah, kinda. You'll see. I'll try, though. I will try. how do I say this? I'm not amazing, but I'm not bad. But I feel like it might just be nice to see me on my journey to try to get better, right? Besides, I feel like with references, I could probably pull something off. It might not be my best, so please don't expect me to be a drawing artist person. But I'm gonna try. Yeah, Roxul, yes is one of the mods. The other one is Arctic Cory. He's my other new mod. Cormishi and Polar Wolf have been too busy, so they're kind of stepping down, but they'll still pop on to stream sometimes. And so it'll mostly just be Yes and Arctic Cory as my new mods now. Yeah. So yeah. And so yeah, it's Yes and Arctic Cory. Yes is from France and Arctic Cory's from England. I just think that's funny. I won't say where, even if I knew, but the countries, it's funny. Europeans, you see? Yeah. Yeah, Arctic Cory, yeah. And, yeah. It's funny because both of my mods are VTubers. How funny is that? I literally have other VTubers for my mods. That's awesome. Hey, Lonic, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing good. Let me know. Okay, so I guess now that I've said all these updates, yeah, you are, your country neighbors. Countries that I think went to war in the past, like a lot. Wow, my eyes are doing one blink at a time. The problem is like my eye tracking isn't working on level 4 anymore, which means because of my glasses, even though it was never a problem before, but whatever. So I have to do level 5, which means I blink a little too easy. Right? Yeah. One mod from England and one mod from France. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here in America. America! So I guess you guys might want to meet Nolan and John Smith. But before we do... Oh, hey, Magnazonia. Good to see ya. Alright. Well, you guys probably have seen it before, but just in case you haven't, who are John Smith and Nolan? Well, let's take a look, shall we? One moment. Oh, whoop, I gotta turn that up. Hang on a second. But I bet you want to see some of my voice acting, right?
And you know what else? I got this
roommate. Let me talk to him for a minute.
Let me temporarily, let's see, so it's between 30. So I'll turn it up temporarily so you guys can hear it better. But I bet you want to see some of my voice acting, right?
And you know what else? I got this roommate. Let me talk to him for a minute. Hey, get over here, get over here.
What is it?
Come over here. I want everybody to meet ya.
Okay, hi there, I'm Nolan. I am a mad scientist, but they can't prove that. That was plausible deniability.
Oh, there is audio, it's just a bit quiet. Okay. I guess it's a bit too quiet, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is drop back to here, go ahead and lower the volume back down to what it was, and then go back to talking to you guys. Whoop. Cause clearly not really working out so well, huh? Yeah, not the best results, right? So let's go ahead and go back to talking, shall we? All right. So, guess it's time to meet John Smith and Nolan. 1 second.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? My name is John Smith.
And I'm Nolan.
How you doing, everybody? You ready to kick some ass and take some names? Feel free to ask me any questions, chat. I'll tell you all about me. You want to know anything? Huh? Well, I mean, I guess I could start with my story. You see, I don't even know parts of it, man. Okay, so here's what happened, okay? I was traveling through Europe, I guess, because that's where I remember my memory beginning. And like, I woke up and I had been hit really hard on the head, right? And then I realized I was a werewolf. I was like, holy shit, I'm a werewolf. So like, yeah, I realized I didn't remember who I was, so I don't really know anybody. So think for a minute, right? What is a werewolf who doesn't have any friends, who doesn't even remember who the hell he is? What does he do? Well, first idea I decided was to name myself. So I figured John Smith. I don't know, what the hell? You got a problem with me calling myself John Smith? I don't even know who the hell I am, man. I had to come up with something. Anyway, so, the next thing I did. Anybody in here know my story? Anybody have any guesses if you don't? What I did? Think. I got no friends. I don't know anybody. What do? I'm a werewolf. Remember that. So what do? How do I make some buddies? Your phone is low battery? Well, that sucks, man. I'm glad you were able to get on here still, Alonic. I know Traveler really likes talking to you.
Yeah, I am a nerd, yes. I am a mad scientist, and I like to do experiments. But they can't prove that, okay? It was thrown out of court, so they don't know it, and you can't prove it, okay? I am a mad scientist. I love to do things. I might have messed with the genetic code or two. I might have spliced some DNA, some hyena here and there, some snake, some bat. I might have made a shark person or two.
Wait a minute. So wait. Am I like a werewolf in the traditional kind, or did you just mix my DNA with wolf and I don't remember?
I mean, no, I didn't do that to you. Remember, you bite people and they become a werewolf. I don't have a way to do that so far. I kind of have to do the whole, DNA thing for that.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. So, you guys still haven't answered my question. How do I make friends? Well, before I met this guy anyway,
my roommate Nolan here. Before I met him, how did I make friends if I'm a werewolf? Think for a minute. Think. How?
Dexter? Which Dexter? The murderer or the Cartoon Network cartoon? I mean, I guess either one could apply. I mean, what? You can't prove that. You got no proof. You can't prove it. It's a lie.
Yeah, you're a weirdo. We know. Be quiet. I'm trying to find out if chat will answer my question. Do you give up? Huh? Come on, don't be a bunch of wimps.
Hey, that's not very nice to call them wimps.
Hey, they can't bench press 250, so they're wimps to me. Nah, I still love you guys. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, Traveler did mention that. Roxel's a werewolf too. I forgot about that. Nice. Traveler told us about that.
Yeah, he did.
Huh. Well.
Oh, so Dexter's laboratory. Omelette du fromage.
Sacre bleu!
I don't know that much French.
That's okay. I don't think any of us do. Well, except yes, maybe. But, he's French, so I'd hope he can speak his own language. Bench press these nuts, you motherfucker! I will fight you! Oh, let's go! Put up your dukes, man! I'm ready to fight! Let's go, Onk! I'll fight you! You don't think I can't? I can kick your butt all the way up and down the street!
Dude, chill.
Are you seriously telling me to chill?
Yeah? You got a problem with it?
I mean, you're a freaking mad scientist. Come on. You were laughing like a madman a second ago, and you're telling me to chill?
I get carried away. What can I say, okay?
Saiyans aren't real, man. That's anime. Come on. Don't steal from Akira Toriyama. It's not cool, man. Why is my voice so hoarse? I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I was born with a voice like this, I think. I got amnesia, remember? I don't freaking know. God.
Chill? Chill? You want me to chill? I have an ice gun. I'm not afraid to use it. I will make you chill.
That's like a pun.
Yes, you like it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nah, it's okay. I like you guys. I'm just joking.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, keep calling me out. We're supposed to have immersion, bro. Fictional things that aren't copyrighted are real, and fictional things that are copyrighted are not real. Get with the program. Nah, but, besides, you're talking to two made-up voices I just made up. Come on. Well, I didn't just make them up, but, you know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question since none of y'all are gonna answer it.
Alright, so the answer was, I bit a few people. That's how I made my friends. I bit them, and then told them, hey, you want to figure out this whole werewolf thing? I guess you're gonna have to be my friend now. Yeah, it didn't pan out. Most of them left. Who'd have thunk it? Biting them and telling them they have to be my friends now, it didn't work. They became werewolves, but they kind of left. But at first, we were a gang for a little bit. They didn't immediately leave. Like, we were a gang of werewolves. It was pretty cool. But, yeah. Sooner or later, they all left. I don't really want to talk about it.
Whoa! Is Unc speaking French? Whoa, dude, that's cool. See that? I turned into like a surfer. You like it? Yeah.
Yeah, how to be a friend. You bite them and then tell them that they have to, deal with an unquenchable hunger for meat by basically learning how to do the whole werewolf thing with me. That's how you make friends. You don't give them a choice.
And people call me crazy.
Hey, I resent that.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah. Don't worry. It gave me some samples of wolf DNA, so I mean, it worked out for me. Even if most of them kind of, left.
Are you telling me that you gathered DNA from my former friends?
Yeah, I mean, you guys come in bleeding half the time. You think I'm not gonna collect a few blood samples? Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Brother is a library. Okay. Alright, so I hope you guys like the little bit of voice acting there. I was figuring we can also do just some regular chatting. Is the music too loud, by the way? I'm not sure. Is the music too loud? Let me know. I kind of want to make sure the sound mixing is good. How's my voice? How's the music? Not too loud, I hope. Just let me, or did I just make it too quiet just now? Let me know, okay?
Yeah, I did teach them to control their werewolf form. I did. But, yeah, once they didn't need me anymore, after a while, they just kind of left. I guess, that's what you get for making friends by force, huh? Huh. It did take them a while, though, for what it's worth. So we were a gang for, like, a little while. Like, about a year or so, honestly. And that was, like, literally a year ago. I just became roommates with Nolan about a month ago. So, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, voice and volume are good. Cool. Alright, so I got some topics as well to cover. So let me just get to those. Alright, so like I said, 2 of the streams I'm thinking about doing next week. What do you guys think about those topic ideas? So like a stream of me drawing. I'll be using references to kind of help me a bit, but I am going to start drawing again sometimes. And a tour of Japan stream, where we're like looking at videos and pictures and kind of like Google Street View, walking videos in Japan, videos of airports, planes taking off and landing. And I'm gonna make it specifically ones that go to and from Japan, so we can kind of like immerse ourselves and pretend we're going to Japan together on stream. It'll be my Japan tour stream, and then my drawing stream. Those are the 2 streams I'm thinking about doing next week. I'm not sure if I should do another language learning stream next week. I'm tempted to, but I'm unsure. I also am going to work on another voice acting video. But yeah. What do you think of those? Well, you know each other since a lot of years, since you're both supporting each other badly. Yeah, that's fair, yes. Interested about Japan. Oh yeah, Japan. Heck yeah, dude. Okay, so like, that's one thing I'm thinking. Is like, think about it, okay? Those are the 3, okay, so the 2 streams I'm definitely thinking about doing next week are the drawing stream and the tour of Japan stream. Those 2. And then maybe a 3rd stream that is another language learning stream, but I might delay that for a week and take a break from language learning. Because I feel like language learning is kinda, it's difficult to prepare for. So I might take like a week off from that. Yeah. So that's a thing. I might take a week off from the whole language learning thing. And yeah, this Saturday, I'm gonna try to finish whatever's left of Yakuza 6 and get it done. And then, yeah. No more games next week either. I'm gonna take a break from doing any game streams as well. Meaning Star Ocean, whatever I do this Friday will be it for now, and then I'll take a 1-week break from doing any games at all. And like I said, this Saturday I'll try to finish Yakuza 6, and then I'm also having a Yakuza 6 stream on Thursday before that. So yeah, which is tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow's Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Herpeter. But yeah. All right. So, I could talk about some other topics while we're here. Yeah, we're gonna roleplay going to Japan together. Yeah. Basically, we're gonna immerse ourselves in the experience, like we're going to Japan together. And you know what's crazy about that? In 2026, that's my goal. I don't know how many of you remember that. I'm going to college because in 2026, that's my goal, is to live in actual Japan. Meaning I may actually gather footage from me in Japan, but without showing my face, obviously. And you guys could see footage made by me of me in Japan, sorta. And yeah, that might be a thing in 2026. So yeah. But anyway. Okay, so do you guys I do some martial arts too in real life, like breaking immersion a little, but it's true. One of them is Kobo Jutsu. Kobo Jutsu is an interesting style because here's what happened. In Okinawa, Japan, there was the samurai who, knew actual kenjutsu. And what they did was they actually taught the peasants how to defend themselves. But obviously a peasant isn't going to have a sword. These are like farmers and stuff like that. So how is a farmer going to defend themselves with a style that a samurai would know based on kenjutsu? That's where Kobo Jutsu comes. Using real sword swings, but teaching a simpler form that involves using a stick or a broom or a mop or something like that. Cylinder objects. And that is Kobo Jutsu, which is a style I know in real life. So yeah, that's what that is. And then Ludo Sport, that's another thing I'm learning. That is a lightsaber-based style. I know, lightsaber. But what it is it's basically taking real swordsmanship styles. And I believe this is out of maybe Italy, I think is where it is. Or is it Brazil? No, it's Portugal. That's what it was, I think. Anyway, point is, a European language that I can't remember what it is, but it's not Spanish, it's not French. And I think it still might be a Romance language, so anyway. Either way, I forget what country it is, but the point is it's in Europe. And they are using real sword styles mixed with concepts from Star Wars to fight with stunt lightsabers. Oh, it's Italy! Thank you, Don Josue. That's wins. But yeah, so Ludo Sport is based out of Italy, and think like stunt lightsabers mixed with real swordsmanship styles, and so basically think like Form 1 is where I'm starting, obviously, and it's like mixed, so a Star Wars concept mixed with like other, other real sword styles, and like makes a style. And that's what Ludo Sport is, which is one thing I'm learning. Hell yeah, I love lightsabers. I love swinging a lightsaber or a sword. That's why I have Kobo Jutsu. I actually took kendo, real kendo, for a while in a dojo too. And I'm also learning Kyokushin karate right now. And in the past, I was in a dojo learning Japanese form of Kempo. So, and Taekwondo, which is Korean, of course. But yeah, I like martial arts and stuff like that. So that's a thing. And I obviously like to imitate fighting styles from games too, and try to figure out how to do them right. Like boxing and karate and Taekwondo, things like that. But learning it for real really helps. Yeah. All right. So that's something I do, if you were curious. Another thing, there's a LARP I was doing on the weekend. It was called, what was it called? Amped Guard. And that, you get like these like sort of foam sort of swords. They're not like what I used to do, which was melee, which is like duct tape, camping mat, and they look like real swords basically, and they have like electrical tape for the handles. Not that. That was fun, but they always hit too hard. Amped Guard has more roleplay elements. Think kind of like a tabletop roleplay game, but you do it in real life and actually fight each other in real life with it, with foam swords and stuff. And that was really fun. I was doing that for a few weeks recently. Oh, your gym has a Kyokushin karate dojo? Nice! Very cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am. Well, if you want to go with lore, Traveler knows... Okay, let me see. If we go back to Traveler's history, the styles that I've always known, that I've learned and kept oftentimes over the years, are Jeet Kune Do, Kyokushin karate, Taekwondo, boxing, specifically Muay Thai based boxing, so technically kickboxing, and Kenjutsu, specifically Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu from Rurouni Kenshin. Because why not, right? Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu from Rurouni Kenshin is the most common thing Traveler has in most of the universes I've been in. Also, I've been doing a Final Fantasy roleplay with Ankh and twins, so that's really fun. I made my character a red mage. It's actually Traveler, me. So I'm continuing my lore with it, and it's in a Final Fantasy sort of D20 setting, like tabletop roleplay. So that's pretty fun. Speaking of which, you guys might wonder, where did my history come from? Why does Traveler have such a long lore? Especially when you consider that, not counting the audio drama, I had a 110-page document that covered most, but not all, huge chunks are missing, of my lore. Those chunks I still remember, by the way. But you might wonder why it's 110 pages? Why? Because I roleplayed it in tabletop roleplays for years and years. Various roleplays. That's why I'm a multiversal spirit, a spirit that travels the multiverse and goes into alternate bodies of myself. It's because it's the same character continuing in different settings, like Star Wars, Wheel of Time, Dungeons and Dragons, D20 Future, Naruto setting at one point, a lot of different worlds. And that's all because that was all the same Traveler. I just basically would enter the alternate bodies of alternate versions of myself and gain the memories of those other me's. So I'm like ancient. Like at one point I became a replacement for the god of the multiverse, and the multiverse had to be restarted. So I'm technically billions and billions of years old, really. That's why I often tell people, hey, my age is irrelevant. My age is irrelevant. I stopped being that god, though. I stripped myself of those powers and gave them up. But yeah, yeah. Nah, aw, thanks, yes. Oh, you were randomly answering, Lonic? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, like, I guess the main thing I'm saying is my lore has a long history, and I could probably talk about it some more with you guys, honestly. There's a lot of lore I could talk about. Wait, what about billion? What? Oh, yeah, me. You mean my age. Yeah, I'm like at least billions of years old. Think about it, okay? I recreated any universe that got destroyed when the old god of the multiverse, the Void, when he initially died. The Void was the god of not every universe, but many universes. And so, like a subset of the multiverse, like a huge chunk of the universes. So pretty much the multiverse got destroyed when he died, and I had to recreate it as if it was never gone. Yeah, so I'm like billions and billions, maybe even trillions of years old, if you consider the fact I had to recreate the entire multiverse, and I existed outside of time itself, so my age is irrelevant, really. Because really, to me, I'm thousands of years old, not billions or millions or trillions or any of those numbers. But because I existed outside of time, I could make it retroactively as if things never went away. Meaning that billions of years passed in an instant for me, and it wasn't billions of years for me. Because again, when I became a god, I existed outside of time itself. And again, anytime I enter a universe, time resets to whatever time it was in that universe. So time to me is kind of irrelevant. That's why I say when I put my age, I often put unknown or don't worry about it, because it doesn't matter. What matters is the age of what body I'm in. For example, I think this body I'm in right now might be in its 20s, maybe? Oh, you did Taekwondo when you were younger? Nice, Roxul. That's pretty cool. Immortal? Kinda. My spirit is immortal, but my body is sometimes immortal, sometimes mortal. It varies. Right now it's a phoenix, so I guess it is immortal in its own way. But I don't always stay in the same body anyway, so I could be anything. I could be a human, I could be a phoenix, I could be an elf. And I've been all of those things before, so yeah. But yeah, my body can sometimes be a regular human. It can be very mortal, but I, as a spirit, never die. So there's that. That's a thing. But yeah, that's a thing that is true, and yeah. Ah, only a year? Interesting. Well, let me think for a minute. Void. I talked about that a bit. I also did a superhero show. I never released it, but it was really high quality. It was called Antithesis, and I made a sequel called Shadow of Spider-Man. Holy crap. Okay, so those are two topics I might want to delve into deeper in the future. About the Void and my lore, and maybe about Antithesis and Shadow of Spider-Man. There is some really good stuff I can cover with both of those. Okay, so Antithesis was my own superhero universe, right? Could be spaghetti? What? Anyway, but I guess I could have been? That's weird. Nah, probably something sentient, bro. Anyway, oh, you gotta take meds? Fair, Roxul, fair. But Antithesis was a superhero show. My character was inspired by a mixture of Batman and Spider-Man. So, yeah, Onk did help with those. He helped a lot. He's actually a voice actor friend of mine. And he's considering being a VTuber himself. Onk is a really good friend. Oh, hey, Darth Kirby. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Alrighty. So, yeah, like, if we're talking about, like, the stuff I can do with voice acting and stuff, let me see if I can kind of cover the story of Antithesis. Are you guys okay with me stopping the music? I'm having trouble thinking. Alright, we're just gonna stop the music. You know, there's gotta be a way to mix the music into my OBS. I bet you there is, and I just don't know it, and I have an idea of how I could do it, but I need to start doing that so it doesn't distract me. Because I've been doing it the ghetto way. Like, let me show you how I've been doing it. No, I won't show you. Let's just say I use YouTube and public domain metal and just loop it, and I have to hear it. Anyway, I could probably just put it into OBS. Yeah, like how I do my channel intro, probably. Oh, hey, Corey! That's the other new mod. Feel free to give him some love, guys. Because I love all of you, and I love my mods, too. You guys are the MVPs. You come to my stream, we talk, we have a fun time. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I love you guys. Anyway, so, basically, what happens is, yeah, Corey is here, and so is Yes. So, basically, though, if I were to explain Black Wraith's history, oh my god, let's see if I can get to that in a minute. Hang on. Yeah, it'd be music that's on my computer. Yeah, I know, I figured. I can do that. I just gotta set it up beforehand. Okay, so, basically, what happened is give me a minute. My head's just like, Sometimes it just goes, boo. We have established I can be a bit of a bird brain. Oh, hey, superhero. Good to have you here. Yeah, I can be a bit of a bird brain sometimes, so I apologize if I'm being a little slow. But, antithesis. Right. Holy crap. You guys are just coming in. Maybe I should start moving my streams to like 3 or 4 p.m. What do you guys think? Because I worry that I streamed too early, and maybe that's why people are having difficulty coming. Meteor Sally, we'll get to that, Onk. That is later, way later. But thank you. You are helping kind of, because you're getting my brain going. Okay. So, Long is a phoenix, has a literal bird brain. I mean, you're not wrong about that, but I was using a pun, okay? Okay. So, here's the story. All right, let me see if I can remember it. Give me a minute. All right, so long ago, in I'm trying to remember, I think this took place in 2011, 2010, something like that. So not that long ago, but like 10 years ago or more now, so. But what happened was there was an experiment where the U.S. government was trying to create superheroes, right? And what happened was when they tried to create superheroes, story time with Trav. Okay, so, oh, good to have you here, yes. White Castle is amazing. Oh, okay, that's cool. Eating mac and cheese from White Castle. Nice. I've never been there. Never been. But to be fair, I've been in the Central Time Zone. Bluntly put, breaking immersion a little. No, I won't say it too. I've said it before, but maybe I shouldn't say it here. I've lived in the middle of America, and now I live on the East Coast. So I've never lived on the West Coast. So anyway, basically, what happened is this takes place in Florida. The U.S. government was trying to create an experiment to create super soldiers. Actually, I moved it to New York. Well, depending on which version of the lore, it's ambiguously East Coast, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, the U.S. government was trying to create superheroes, basically. Best Coast. Onk. Anyway, so, I see what you did there. But, what happened was they decided they needed a guinea pig. Someone who nobody would miss. Nobody would care if he died. And they got several of them, probably. Homeless people. Why? These were homeless people with no family, no friends. Nobody cared if anything happened to them. And so what happened is... Oh, this is actually a superhero show I wrote back in the day. I did an audio drama. They're really amazing. I would love to show you guys sometime if you guys want to see them. But I'm going to tell you the story. Basically, it's story time with Trav now. So, okay. What happened is, so basically, the U.S. government wanted to create these super soldiers, right? Oh, I did some voice acting earlier. If you guys missed it, I was being John Smith and Nolan. I'm a werewolf and I want to kick some ass.
Yeah, and I'm a mad scientist and I'm his roommate.
So yeah, I can do more voices in a bit, but I want to tell you guys this story. Okay, so, okay. What happened is they grabbed the homeless people, and a lot of them died, and they just, it was a secret government project in the U.S., so they just kind of covered it up. Again, these are homeless people who specifically have no living relatives, or if they do, their living relatives supposedly would never notice nor care. These are nobodies. Now, what happened is, one survived. They thought this was really weird because he did not seem to get any powers. No superpowers. But he lived. So they put him in a jail cell and said, we'll figure it out later. We need to stop and think for a minute because this guy didn't die. Despite us putting him through hell, he didn't die. Why? So that's what they did. They decided to move on. But then the U.S. government came in and said, hey, you guys have 1 week. And after 1 week, if you guys don't come up with a result, we are shutting you down because we don't want the Geneva Convention to find out what we've been doing. And we're worried that if this goes on for too long, they're going to find out. And then we're going to be the bad guys because, you know, what we're doing is really effed up and literally leading to dead people. So, yeah, you better get a super soldier out of this or we're shutting you down in 1 week. So, panicking, they said we need a new test subject. And we're going to have to pump him with everything we got. Every single experiment we've ever done related to super soldier stuff, we need to just put it all into one guy. And we're going to use radiation. So, a government agent volunteered. A man named Darius, or as his code name was, Agent Richard, which later they jokingly often refer to him as Agent Dick, because they would. He's a dick. He deserves it. Anyway, so they decide to do that. They pump him full of drugs, and they radiation the crap out of him, and it causes the facility to explode. Everyone dies except for the homeless man in the cell who escaped and Agent Richard. They're the only survivors. And Agent Richard suddenly reveals he has the ability to lift billions of tons and super speed and flight and heat vision. Gee, who does this sound like? Superman? Meanwhile, nobody reveals he's gained 2 sets of powers. 1, he can lift in excess of 10 tons. 2, he has photographic reflexes, meaning he can basically, like a photographic memory of people's movements and can imitate them, like Taskmaster from Marvel. And he decides, this homeless man decides to name himself, code name, Nobody, and becomes a professional hitman and mercenary for hire, and pretty much goes underground for a while. While Agent Richard becomes the super soldier the government always wanted, but they worry about other countries imitating it, so he becomes a member of the FBI still, like he already was, and does jobs for them in secret, so people don't know, only rumors about what he does. But here's where things get even crazier. That explosion happened in the middle of nowhere. Maybe it was Nevada, so maybe I moved where it is. I don't know. But the point is, it was in the middle of nowhere, just barely what they thought was a safe distance away from a small town. It wasn't a small distance. It wasn't a safe distance. The radiation hit the few residents of that town. Many of them died later, years later, because everyone who was hit in that town, it was so far away, they just decided to observe because nobody reacted for years and years. But then years later, some of them died, and a select few of them don't know it yet, but they got powers. Cut away to New York or Florida, depending on which version of the story I did. There is a superhero, and his name is the Black Wraith. He can lift 10 tons and has superhuman agility. He uses grappling hooks, and he can, basically, he's Spider-Man mixed with Batman. He's a dark vigilante who tortures villains, most of the time kills them, and uses a wrist-mounted gauntlet that rotates, that can have gas grenades, it can have projectile knives that can puncture through concrete, has grappling hooks, and like I said, he has the strength and agility the same as Spider-Man. So that's pretty cool. But what happens is, basically, another superhero pops up, Necro. And basically, Necro comes in with a bazooka and blows up a building while Black Wraith is in the middle of killing a series of gang members. And yeah, that draws way too much attention. A freaking bazooka or rocket launcher just boom, and then pulls out an AK-47 and an AR-15 and just starts unloading on them. And then pulls out an UMP-15 and is unloading on them. And he's just going nuts, drawing way too much attention. Because remember, at this point, Black Wraith is more of a quiet, brooding type hero. He doesn't want attention. He's wearing like a black hood and a black bandana and a black Matrix-style lobby trench coat with bulletproof vest. Necro's wearing like a skull mask and has the same powers as Black Wraith, by the way, but instead uses guns. And so what happens is, way too many people find out about both of them after Black Wraith has been operating for like a year. And now everybody knows about both of them. That's not good. Then a few days later, while Black Wraith is in the middle of doing another mission, suddenly 3 new superheroes decide to debut. American Hurricane, a Captain America copycat who has wind powers, like he can control the wind and air. Velocity, an African American, black American, who has super speed and basically talks like Samuel L. Jackson and looks like him too. And then Nightcry, a Japanese immigrant American who's a metalhead, and her name is actually Kimiko, but she goes by Nightcry because she has a supersonic scream that can destroy metal. That would be cool if I could sometime. A VR chat model of my character, that would be pretty cool. But anyway, so basically what happens is, I'm glad you're focused on the story. Anyway, so they team up and they deal with the criminals and stuff. Well, eventually, they are going through many series of events. The US government blackmails them into working for them. And they get blackmailed into being a superhero team. Was it the Warriors of Justice or something like that, I think? Anyway, they end up fighting a supervillain team. Again, all these heroes and all these villains were in that city incident many years ago, and they didn't even know that they were affected. They just saw an explosion in the distance from a government base and figured it was some sort of nuclear test or something. So they were none the wiser about what had happened. And they didn't even know they were hit with the radiation. They didn't know many people died from it, and they didn't know that each other had gotten powers and went their separate ways years later. Anyway, this is in 2012, by the way. It's okay, yes. Anyway, so what happens is, basically, then they continue on their adventures of defeating a supervillain team, and they approach Armored Assassin, this guy who's been operating behind the scenes as a master planner, and he has been controlling all of the crime in the city, and also hired the supervillain team to fight them before, who they mostly either arrested or killed, depending on who it was. Because again, Black Wraith kills villains, and so does Necro, but the other 3 do not, except for as a last resort. So they prefer to capture their criminals. Anyway, what happens is they go to challenge Armored Assassin at his mansion. And when they get there, they find out Armored Assassin has metal that can withstand Nightcry's scream. Not only that, he has telekinesis, meaning he can move things with his mind and create force fields. So he is just too tough. His physical strength, on par with Black Wraith and Necro, meaning he's as physically strong as them too. And even the super speed of Velocity isn't helping. And the wind powers of American Hurricane can't get past the force field. What ends up happening? Nightcry. They team up and get him distracted, and the Nightcry lets out the loudest scream she can at the top of her lungs to the point to where she goes unconscious. And it shatters his force field and his metal, defeating Armored Assassin. And then, you want a comic? Nice! There's an audio drama series of all this. I could try to bring it back. I just need a voice acting cast. Because I did most of this. We recorded most of this. It was an audio drama I did. We'll see. Anyway, so what happens is, is they go back to the base, and that's when things get different. They're arguing over what to do with Armored Assassin, and they leave Armored Assassin alone in a room with Black Wraith. Black Wraith begins torturing Armored Assassin. And this is the first time we've seen him firsthand do torture. It was implied he might have done it before, but most of the time we just know he kills villains. But with Armored Assassin, he tortures him. He begins removing his fingernails and talking about torture devices. And he reveals to Armored Assassin who he is. His name is Josh Worthington. He's a millionaire who was a Hollywood actor. And then what happened was, one day, he became an alcoholic. He became washed up. Nobody wanted to hire him. His reputation was in the toilet. And then one day, his wife, during a robbery, was killed by a robber. And Black Wraith first put on his Black Wraith costume. Back then, he didn't have superpowers, but he put on the Black Wraith costume in order to disguise himself and went to find his wife's killer. And then he murdered his wife's killer. Years later, Armored Assassin pops up, and while alone in the room after defeating him with Josh sees his face, and he says, "You're my wife's killer. Why are you still alive?" And begins torturing him. Bear in mind, he also lost custody of his son, too, by the way. Also, Josh became a weapons manufacturer. That's how he kept his wealth. So he switched from a Hollywood actor to a weapons manufacturer. So American Hurricane comes in and says, "What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? This is not right. You can't just torture our prisoner. That's not okay. You can't do that. That's effed up." And so they get in a fight. And then suddenly, Richard comes in and says, "Both of you and all the heroes come with me." And then another hero breaks in who can lift over 100 tons, and her name is Obsidian. And he says, "You know what? I don't have time for this. You come too." And they all go into a room with government agents everywhere. And Richard reveals Comet Sally. Or Meteor Sally. Sorry. I used to call it Comet Sally, but it's actually Meteor. Meteor Sally. It's estimated that if Meteor Sally hits the Earth, there will be no Earth anymore. Understandable, Darth Kirby. There will be no Earth. It's gonna be gone if Meteor Sally hits the Earth. No one will survive, and the Earth will be destroyed. They say to them, "You are the backup plan. Stay here." Wait, first you gather us for a backup plan, but what is your plan A? Also, what could we do? Well, we believe nukes and stuff like that probably wouldn't get there in time, and we're not sure. We just felt like it was good for you to be present in case the worst happens. What's your plan A? Richard takes off his government agent outfit and is now shirtless, but still wearing his FBI agent pants, and says, "I'm plan A. My name is Darius, and I'm stronger than all of you put together." And he goes into space, and he punches the meteor repeatedly, and it goes into small chunks. He uses heat vision and is punching and super speed and flight, and he can breathe in space even, and he destroys that meteor. But he's too late. Chunks of the meteor hit the Earth throughout the world in what is known as Judgment Day. And after that, it turns out anyone who's near a meteor crash site has a 60% chance of dying. Some immediately, some later, but a 30% chance of instead getting superpowers, creating various superhumans throughout the world. 1 year later, we now have season 2, which I was writing and we never released. And during season 2, long story short, the part that's most relevant is that Black Wraith has been getting mental help and in a mental hospital and recovered greatly. And so what he does is he decides he wants to be a hero again. And they let him on a probationary basis. And he's quickly becoming good friends with American Hurricane. He used to be closer friends with Necro. But Necro ends up going off to be a government agent. And Black Wraith ends up befriending American Hurricane pretty heavily. But then he finds out his son, I forget his name, became a superhero as well and has fire and ice powers due to Meteor Sally. And they encounter the supervillain Jolt, a lightning and electricity guy who makes puns like, "That sends a current down my spine," and "the reason will shock you," and "oh, I'm sorry if it hurts," and stuff like that. And basically, there's also a woman with superhuman fire and stuff, and they're Omega level, meaning they can like destroy entire cities or countries. Anyway, they end up defeating them. But then Black Wraith finds out that he stole his name from a long line of Black Wraiths. So basically what happens is he gains ghost powers that can be passed on from tradition to tradition. And so now he has ghost powers on top of that. But long story short, he ends up passing them on to Nightcry, and she becomes the new Black Wraith, and he retires for a while. And he is entering retirement, stops being a hero entirely, and is trying to figure out what he wants. And he's suddenly finding out that he learned something from Nightcry, how to be positive, how to be happy. Because Nightcry was the most positive person of them all, despite being the youngest. By now, she's barely 18, so she was also a teenager during the early years that she was with them. And she was easily the youngest. Roughly the same age as Josh Worthington, Black Wraith's son, actually. About the same age. Anyway, so what happened is understandable, Kratos. Good to have you here. I'm guessing you're CJ. Just a guess. Anyway, so what happened is I created an alternate version of this story, and it was called Shadow of Spider-Man. And you guys might wonder the story behind that one. Well, I can tell you that one too, if you guys want. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like this video, please. But anyway, so, okay. Here's where Shadow of Spider-Man comes in. This is an alternate version of this story. And what happens is, I kid you not, what if all of that happened in an alternate version of the Marvel Universe? So here's where I get really crazy. In the 1960s, a version of the Marvel comics that happened in 1960, 1970, 1980, and the 1990s. So any Marvel comic you can think of that happened in real life in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, all happened in the 60s and 70s. Then by 1980s, the MC2 comics happened, which is like the daughter of Spider-Man, Spider-Girl, the MC2 comics. Those happened in the 80s. And then now, it takes place in modern day. Many years after the superheroes have mostly retired. Because again, they were starting to retire by the 80s. And yeah. But anyway, so this is my own Marvel universe. And what happens is the son of Spider-Man, Benjamin Parker, younger brother to the Spider-Girl who had become Spider-Woman. There was a war that happened in like the 90s or 80s where basically Ultron killed many of the Marvel universe. Many of the heroes and villains were killed by Ultron. And that's why Antithesis could still have happened. Because now many superheroes and villains are dead. Anyway, so what happens is basically there's a new Spider-Man. And give me a minute. I gotta remember this one. This one's really good. Okay, so basically Black Wraith is tired of feeling like he's retired. So he's in New York City, and he decides to put on his old Black Wraith outfit and go for a walk for a bit and swing around in those, with his grappling hooks and stuff. And he swings around kind of like Spider-Man. By now, he doesn't kill anymore, by the way. Oh my god, I forgot to mention. He vowed to never kill again during season 1 when a large web of stuff happened with his younger sister, and he found out the supervillain he killed was his younger sister. Screwed him over mentally, and he vowed to never kill again. The reason that she turned on him was not just because she was a supervillain, it was also because their dad had died, and Josh never noticed. Because Black Wraith, he was so busy being a super anti-hero that he never even spent any time with his family. He was depressed all the time, mentally effed up. He just didn't spend any time with his parents. So he didn't even know his dad had died. But anyway, so yeah, his mom's the only one left, I guess. Anyway, so basically what happened is he gets out of retirement, kind of feeling restless and like he wants to just kind of go out and do stuff. He's tired of being retired. Well, what happens is he encounters Spider-Man, who is the son of the original Spider-Man. This guy's Benjamin Parker, younger brother to May, who died during the whole event where Ultron killed most of the heroes. So did American Dream, which was like a female counterpart to Captain America. Anyway, so what happened is he ends up teaming up with this Spider-Man, and a series of Doctor Doom bots kill him, and Black Wraith avenges him, but a building falls on him, and he wakes up in the hospital. Nightcry, who's now the new Black Wraith and has the ghost powers he used to have, while Black Wraith still has his original powers, superhuman strength and superhuman agility. He decides there must always be a Spider-Man, so he will be Spider-Man. He takes the web shooters of Benjamin Parker, puts them on, but he says, I can't be as good as the real Spider-Man, so I'll have to be my own sort of Spider-Man. So he makes a blue costume. Basically, the red parts of Spider-Man are blue, and the blue parts of Spider-Man are black, and he becomes the Azure Spider. And see, he doesn't have spider powers. Remember, he has superhuman strength the same as Spider-Man, and his agility is the same as Spider-Man, and he knows how to move like him, but he does not have a spider sense. And as for sticking to walls, he basically puts adhesives and stuff in his gloves and his boots, so he can basically, on command, climb up walls. Remember, he's a weapons manufacturer. He can build stuff. Also, he was known as like a discount Tony Stark, because his company would steal old Stark tech and make knockoffs. Also, he stole old supervillain tech like Shocker's gauntlets, which was another thing he often used. Anyway, so like as a part of his rotating gauntlets, he had his Black Wraith. But anyway, but of course he started out as a washed up Hollywood actor because, But anyway, so he becomes the Azure Spider and wants to find out who this Doom impersonator is. Long story short, he finds out the Doom impersonator is in fact Armored Assassin. Big shocker. Then, on top of that, he actually goes into a web, what was it called? Across the Spider-Verse style adventure, where he teams up with a bunch of spider people. And American Hurricane spent some time in prison because he accidentally killed a person and was stuck in prison for that. And he lost custody of his daughter because of that, which really messed up American Hurricane mentally. So he ended up bonding with Venom, the Venom symbiote, because Eddie Brock died as well. And so he becomes the new Venom. And so American Hurricane, feeling like he can't trust anybody, was walking off, while Necro gets hit by Carnage and becomes the new Carnage, but not willingly. He's basically being taken for a ride by Carnage. But basically, American Hurricane moves into an apartment in New York City because Josh is actually from upstate New York. So he decides to stay in New York City, and and they, I guess Manhattan. And so they decide to live in an apartment together so that Josh can keep an eye on as Azure Spider. So now Azure Spider and the new Venom are roommates. Kid you not, that happened. And yeah, it's just a fan audio drama at this point. A what if Antithesis was in the Marvel Universe. But yeah, and they end up fighting a version of, they team up with the superior Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen, who's known as Ghost Spider, and a bunch of other Spider-Men, and they fight a version of Black Wraith that's also Dr. Octopus. And yeah, that was crazy. And that's basically what happens, and that's Shadow of Spider-Man, the sequel to Antithesis. What do you guys think? Those are the two shows. Crazy, right? Tell me what you guys think. I am very curious. That is the story. What do you guys think? Absolutely insane, isn't it? I could post those audio dramas to you guys, you know? I don't know. I'll have to be careful, because Shadow of Spider-Man is copyrighted, so I'm not sure, like, because that's based on that's a fan animation of Marvel. Antithesis, I own everything myself, though, so I could do that one. That one, I own everything in it. Hell, I had composers who made the music. I still talk to them and keep in touch with them once in a while. They made the soundtrack. So yeah. Yeah? Which one? Antithesis or Shadow of Spider-Man or both? Because yeah, that is a crazy universe I created, right? And I wrote all of that. Ankh helped a little, and I had a little help here and there from other people. But most of it, the vast majority of that, I wrote entirely by myself. I wrote that. I created those characters. I made that. And I voice acted as Black Wraith and later Azure Spider. That was me voicing him. I have all kinds of audio files still from both. So yeah, I could show you guys sometime. I guess as long as I don't monetize the video, maybe? I don't know. It's something to think about. Yeah, it's really freaking cool. And you guys saw my lore. Antithesis mostly? That's fair, that's fair. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that was a thing I created. And feel free to go back and watch the rest of this VOD if you guys came here late, and you can hear everything I've talked about and everything I've voice acted and stuff. But yeah, on a side note, I love superhero stuff. I used to watch a lot of the CW Flash. I really feel like it went downhill after a while, so I'm not the biggest fan of the CW Flash as much as I used to be, you know? Like, I just feel like they over-relied on super speed villains. They needed to diversify, but I can kind of get it. It's difficult because they keep having to make him fight villains that just would be too easy for him, and he keeps somehow having a problem with them. It's like he forgets he has super speed or something. And then there was too much drama that made it feel like a soap opera, which is not what The Flash should be. I think a good example of what it should be is the Justice League cartoon or the old 90s Batman, the animated series cartoon, you know? I also am a big MCU fan. I'm primarily a Marvel fan. Spider-Man. I'm a big Batman fan, but I'm also a big Spider-Man, back to Marvel and not DC. I'm primarily a Spider-Man fan, and the man called Nova, Richard. Yeah, big fan of him. You can go back to one of my Just Chatting streams, and I talked about that before. Also, I'm just a general big superhero fan. So, yeah, if in the future you want me to talk more about Antithesis or show you those, or you want me to talk about my lore and my past with the Void, or any of this stuff, we can definitely talk about this again soon sometime. But, just to get it out of the way, yeah, you're gonna see a little bit of scuff, oh well. But, let me just, there we go. Okay, so, there we go. Now, I have a poll, so please, if you're on Twitter, or you're on VT Social, or if you're in my Discord, I want you to vote. 2 p.m. EST, 3 p.m. EST, or 4 p.m. EST. What is a good time for my streams? I need to know when is a good time for these streams to be happening. Because I really feel like my current stream time has been a worry that maybe streaming later today was a good thing, but also maybe I've been streaming too early for you guys. So I need to know. So in the future, 2 p.m. EST, 3 p.m. EST, or 4 p.m. EST, what would you guys like to see? That's Twitter right there, and that's VT Social under Mastodon there. It's also on the Discord under announcements. You react with the emojis and it'll tell me what you voted. I do also want to ask you, if any could work, the Discord lets you list all three, honestly. These ones you have to choose one or the other of the three, but on the Discord version of the vote, you can pick any option. I just generally want to know what you guys want to see. So you could vote all three if you want on the Discord version. Speaking of which, I'll go ahead and post a link to the Discord, so if you guys ever want to, stop by the Discord, feel free. Let me just get that link right there, and then I'm going to switch it up. All right, so if you guys ever want to check out the Discord, that is right here. Feel free to join and become a member or a user or whatever you want to call it. Point is, join us. Hang out with us if you want. You guys are all my hatchlings either way. You know that. I love every single one of you very much. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Without you guys, I'm nobody. I'm just a random nerd on the internet. You guys are what makes this possible. Because you guys come here, and we have a fun time together. I've mentioned this before. I am a VTuber because I have loneliness. I get lonely and depressed, and you guys come here and we have a fun time together. We laugh together, we smile together, because I want to be an entertainer. I want to make an enjoyable experience for you guys. Show my voice acting talents, teach you a foreign language, play some video games and have a fun time, create immersive experiences, maybe write a story or two, tell you guys a story. I love you guys very much. You guys are my little hatchlings. I am Burb, a phoenix, and you are my hatchlings. And I love you guys very much. You guys mean a whole lot to me. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to my streams. Thank you for just being you. I love you guys. And yeah, I guess that's the gist of it. And nobody but wears your heartless. Ha! Yeah. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and end the stream, but feel free to join the Discord. And thank you guys for coming to my stream. I'm giving you all the warmest of hugs. Like, seriously, I'm hugging the shit out of you. And I love you guys very much. Should I stop cussing? I don't know. I can stop if I want. I just don't know if you guys even care. Anyway, I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.